In a recent escalation of military tensions, the Yemen-based Houthi rebels have asserted responsibility for a fourth attack in just 72 hours on American naval vessels operating in the Red Sea. This offensive, which targeted the USS Harry S. Truman aircraft carrier and other warships, has occurred despite ongoing U.S. military strikes against the Houthis. The Iran-backed group has warned of expanding their attacks against both the United States and Israel if military aggression in Gaza and Yemen persists. The Yemeni armed forces reported detecting considerable hostile military movements in the Red Sea, justifying their strike operations as a necessity to support Palestinians amid tragedy in Gaza. In retaliation, the U.S. conducted over 10 airstrikes targeting Houthi positions in Yemen, notably in Sada province and the key Red Sea port city of Hodeidah. The U.S. administration appears resolute, planning to continue its operations until the Houthis cease their hostility toward key shipping routes in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. Following a deadly Israeli airstrike in Gaza, which resulted in more than 400 casualties, the Houthis declared a missile offensive targeting Israel's Negev airbase. They claimed that the attack, utilizing hypersonic ballistic missiles, was successful, marking a significant escalation as it represents the first documented missile strike against Israel from Yemen since the January 19th ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas conflict. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu emphasized the necessity of intensifying military pressure on Hamas to secure the release of hostages and has committed to escalating their operations against Hamas. He indicated that the only means of negotiation would now be through continued conflict, leading to apprehensions that the situation in the Middle East is spiraling towards a broader regional conflict as tensions persist between the Houthis, Israel, and the U.S. Highlights: Houthi attacks intensify. The Houthis have launched a series of missile assaults on U.S. naval vessels in the Red Sea, claiming responsibility for their fourth strike in just over 3 days. U.S. retaliation. In response to the Houthi aggression, the U.S. has executed multiple airstrikes aimed at dismantling Houthi strongholds deeply embedded in Yemen, specifically targeting their operational bases. Regional tensions rising. The conflict in the Middle East is escalating, with fears mounting over a potential wider regional confrontation as military operations intensify among key players. Direct threats to Israel. The Houthis have announced they would expand their operations to target Israel directly, following an Israeli airstrike on Gaza that resulted in significant casualties. Ceasefire dynamics. The missile attack on Israel signifies a breakdown in ceasefire agreements and sheds light on the ongoing frustrations regarding hostilities in Gaza and military encroachments in Yemen. Israeli military strategy. Netanyahu's strong stance on resuming operations against Hamas highlights Israel's commitment to maintaining military pressure and denying terms for negotiation until hostages are returned. Growing international concerns. Growing hostilities among the Houthis, U.S., and Israel not only threaten regional stability, but also pose concerns for global shipping routes crucial for international trade. Key insights. Escalation of hostilities. The Houthi offensive. The string of attacks executed by the Houthis against American naval forces indicates a strategic reliance on demonstrating military capabilities to reinforce their political narrative around supporting Palestine. This context elevates their profile within Middle Eastern geopolitics, gaining sympathy from aligned factions across the region.